way out onto the icy sea, the frozen sea, right? Where they see they run into a himbo. A himbo stuck in a boat that is cracking, and I don't know if it's sinking, but it's just frozen solid into the ice. So Checkers joins the group. And immediately you guys discover on the ice an elk that is being surrounded by 6 wolves. You guys intervene, kill a few of the wolves. The elk gets away momentarily, dies sadly, off camera, just out of just within earshot. And that was basically it. Was a lot. There was a lot of RP. The fox went missing for a while, which was hilarious. It actually worked into the story pretty well because he was hiding. He disappeared into the fog. No one knew where he was. But then we found him. Let's say. Does that sound about right? Am I missing anything?
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Yulia thought Checkers was hot. Hilariously.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Shade thought Checkers was hot.
Sorry, yes, Shade did. That was fucking funny.
I mean, yeah, so, who doesn't?
Yeah, so when I should have named that when I posted it. I should have called that "Oh no, he's hot" because that was fun.
Oh no,
I think you did call it that, at least on the Spotify one.
Oh, did I? Cool. I haven't looked.
Oh no, you put that in the description. You said, "Oh no, he's hot." A frozen sea is no place for a himbo.
I assume. I mean, I saw the meme. I don't know what it's from. Is that like it looked like a SpongeBob kind of thing?
SpongeBob.
Okay. I saw the meme because I looked it up and I thought it was funny. Oh no, he's hot. Did not know that because I'm old and scared and pretty much worthless.
Scared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the 4 of you, Wrath is not here. I believe the last thing we were doing is headed towards the tower. You are making your way cautiously through jagged ice, a jagged frozen sea. You're out in the sea, but it's frozen somehow, creepily. Fog surrounds you. Now 2 sessions ago, a creepy, ghostly lady came out of the fog, said, please, motioned her arms and essentially parted the sea. And so you guys are walking down this part of the fog, I should say. The fog is like, 3-4 feet thick, cool, a little weird. The tower looms in front of you, still a little ways away, at least. You're probably about halfway there. Again, the fog clearly is emanating from this tower. You can see, as you get closer, you can see even better. There are a couple of lights coming from the top. And the fog seems to be like oozing out of it down the sides of the tower. What do you guys want to do?
Checkers will take a step forward. He'll kind of put his hands on his hips and he'll say, "This is where the witch is gone. Seems like this is the only course of action." And he will take a big like sniff in the air, and he'll say, "Yep, I smell it. Evil." And also the smell of sulfur. Probably.
Also, there's no smell of sulfur. Nice job, Checkers.
No, I was about to say, Shade will sniff the air too. I can't smell anything.
Mm-hmm.
It smells evil though. That might just be some gas someone passed.
Well, are we going in? Or up? Or...
Has Fox reappeared yet? Like, do we know where he is? In
Yes.
game, I mean.
Yeah, I think so.
He just wandered over. Nice.
Fox, what were you? You were like investigating something. What were you doing in the fog?
I think he saw something like glinting in the fog, and he just tried to find it, but it was like a mirage of sorts. Like he was just chasing around, like maybe the light glinting off the ice in the fog.
Mm-hmm. And kind of got out there and lost track of time, and then all of a sudden was like, "Oh shit, I should get back." Yeah, cool. Cool. So you guys are just headed toward the tower?
Yep.
Right on. So you're walking, and as you walk, you're walking for a little while. And you're getting very, very close to the tower, right? Like it is maybe hundreds of feet from you, that sort of thing. And you see a figure walking your way, right towards you guys. This figure's gait is like very wobbly, and it looks like limping.
Does it look injured, or like it's a natural infliction or injury sort of limp?
The figure's probably mostly silhouette at this point still. Just like, but yeah, definitely your first thought would be like wounded.
All right, Fox is going to kind of watch him, this figure, I guess. Pensively, see what he's doing.
Do you guys continue to walk, or do you stop, or what?
The fighter would sort of gesture from Checkers to the person, the silhouette, and just go, "Look, somebody to help," and kind of try and nod him to go first.
And is the Checkers correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Checkers will actually stop in his track, and he continues to sniff the air. And he kind of looks away from the tower and over to the man. And he says, "You're right. We should not leave an injured person in the middle of this dangerous area. It'll be in our best interest to go and check him out."
Cool.
Has Checkers wandered off just quickly? Sorry.
Yeah. Is Checkers just like, is the rest of the group still walking and Checkers is walking faster? Like, what are you guys doing? What's the order you're walking in?
I mean, I'd probably be next.
Okay.
Yeah, Checkers will definitely go off to go check on the person who's injured.
Cool. And he's walking right towards you. Like the two of you kind of meet, you stop, and you can say something to him. He has not stopped his gait.
What is Checkers will say? "What's the matter with you? You're out here in the middle of this frozen lake. Is this a lake or is this a body of water? What kind of body of water is this?"
This is the sea. So this is the ocean.
Yeah.
Sea. Okay. You're in the middle of the frozen ocean. And this
and
tower.
you can see. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all he had to say. You're in the middle of this frozen ocean and tower. What are you doing here? You look injured.
And he is clearly limping, disheveled. You can see now a couple of things. I'm sure. I don't know how perceptive Checkers would be at this, but like it's really easy to see. He's eating this gigantic, like it's almost like a grapefruit-sized golden apple. Like it's like super shiny, like aggressively gold-colored, not just like a golden delicious, but actually gold. And he like crunches it right when you say this. And he doesn't stop, but you also look down at his feet like he's limping, and you can see like his boots are just shot, right? Like they're just torn to bits, and you can see like his frozen toes that are turning like bluish black. Just you can barely notice it in the moonlight, but still. And he just limps right by you without saying a word, and passes on to the next people in the party.
Which is me. So the apple's actually edible. It's not solid gold.
Yeah, he is eating it.
Does he react if, say, I was to like reach for it? Well, when I say reach for it, I'm feigning going for it, but I am just wanting to see what he does. Excuse me.
He doesn't even flinch. Like, you can't even tell if he notices you guys are there.
Okay. Can I physically stop him, like by the shoulders, sort of thing?
Sure.
Give that a whirl.
And you do, and so you like, like, do you do it in a non-menacing way? I imagine, like, you just like put your hands up and maybe, like slowly grab his shoulders and kind of bring him to a stop.
I mean. Yeah, either like if he's in front of me, like at his shoulders, or if he's just gone by me, like grab him by the shoulder, sort of deal. Like not again, not violently. I'm not going to tackle him, but
right,
just enough force.
Yeah, totally. And he stops, and I think he probably would look up into your eyes, right? Like see you. He's probably about your size, right? He looks like probably not a fighter or anything. More, he's dressed more like a farmer would be, probably, possibly a fisherman, that kind of thing. Just like not fancy, just rugged clothes. And he just like far away stares at you, like stares right through you, and takes another bite of the apple.
Okay, can I try and take it out of his hand? Like again. Carefully, I'm not wrenching it or anything, just try and take the apple out of his hands.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And yeah, you totally do so. You take it out of his hands, and he just, you can feel that when you let go of his shoulder and take the apple, he just kind of just keeps walking with like apple juice dripping down and bits, like chomping, falling down onto his clothes, down his chin, and he just continues to walk away from you.
Okay. Just sort of look at everyone else who's behind me and just kind of shrug, I guess, with this fucking great apple in my hands.
Checkers will say, this is strange. I wonder if this man is in control of the witch.
Out loud?
What'd you say, fighter?
Did you just say that out loud?
He says that absolutely a lot. He's like, I wonder if this is the witch's spell, or is this commoner underneath this woman's control?
Fighter just deep breaths and just kind of glares at everyone else, hoping for more information.
It is a fair assumption.
Oh yeah, Fighter just isn't prepared for anything to be witch based. Doesn't want to keep hearing the word.
And the figure just continues walking past you, Shade, and the fox, and just will, unless there's something like without being stopped, he'll just drift up. Continues to walk towards land.
Oh.
What do you guys
Does
want to
this
do?
figure seem to have even noticed us?
Not really. He did look at the fighter in the eyes, but he was just like staring right through him.
What direction was he coming from when we saw him?
He was coming what you would assume is directly from the tower. Say again, Fox?
Sorry, just grab lunch.
So, I approach this figure. Hello, sir. What's your name?
And he just keeps walking right by you. And the closer you can get to your mic, Fox, the better it'll be. I can barely hear you.
Fox kind of looks down like, oh, okay, I'm not sure he's used to being ignored like that necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna look to the others and be like, oh, don't know.
I'm having a real hard time hearing you, man.
Sorry, give me a second. Okay, so Fox is just gonna look to the others and be like, sort of shrug like, I don't know what to do about this guy, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This isn't even the weirdest thing that has happened so far today or tonight, so I think we can continue to the tower. At least in Shade's opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, so you guys are a little spooked out by the figure just walking right by you, like not a ghost, because the fighter did stop him, that sort of thing. So but it's still just kind of a weird vibe. But you continue walking towards the tower. As you can clearly tell the tower is a tower in name, and maybe Shade, like you were thinking of it, or everyone, because I think you mentioned the story to everyone, like the story of the prince, the legend of the Ice Prince, in a icy tower. But yep, but the tower itself looks kind of more like an iceberg, but it is towery, and you guys are you're basically right at the foot of it now. In the distance, possibly past it, you hear this it's a little faint, but it's definitely like clump, clump, clump. It sounds like a bunch of noise, but it sounds like possibly like weirdly loud footsteps. Someone's making a big racket from behind this thing.
Someone's making a big racket from behind the tower.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Definitely not in it. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah. It sounds like it's coming from ahead. Like if you were, you guys are at the base of the tower on the land side, let's say. It sounds like it's coming from the seaside, like past it, or you can't really tell.
All right, I'm gonna glance to the others, be like, do we want to go check that out?
I think it sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
Can I just pause us 2 seconds? Mm-hmm. I totally missed what happened to the dude. Where'd he go? Did he just wander off?
Yep, he just kept going, and he was headed back to land, it looked like.
Excellent. I'm going to just drop the fucking apple and carry on.
Flip. Yep. I mean, germs. Unless you were hungry.
Fuck, I don't know what it does.
It's fair. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you didn't just hand it to Checkers and be like, here you go.
That's a good fucking point. No, I've already said it.
He would not have eaten it though. He's on a meat only diet.
The himbo's on a diet. He's got to keep that muscular chin going,
Only protein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Checkers is on keto for sure.
He does like keto.
Shade, you guys are kind of investigating the noise. It sounded like, is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Shade, as you go, you're kind of looking. The tower, as you all had seen, is still like raining down fog. I don't know if that's a good phrase, but it is. Fog is still coming from the top. You can see almost like it's like two like blue shiny eyes almost up there, like giant eyes, or at least that's what it looks like. You notice this side, because you are perceptive and have a good being the expert. What the hell is it called? Survivalist. I'm blanking on my own stupid things. Expert survivalist. You totally notice. You're like, we're not climbing this side. Like, this is a sheer rock face of ice, right? Like, that's a no-go probably. But you do, as you're walking around, the party is walking around to kind of, I'm gonna say it probably slowly. Like, what the hell is this? In approach, you see what looks like a really rough path, kind of spiraling up around the thing. So there's that. But yeah, are you guys are? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Shade at the very least would try to maybe scout ahead on this path and try to pick out reasonably safe means of using it.
Oh, cool. So you're like, I'll take the high road. You guys take the low road. And
Yeah.
Let's investigate behind here.
Yep.
Cool. So you, Shade, you start walking up this path. It's doable. I'm not sure you're an expert climber or anything, right? But you would probably have some idea of like, this looks totally doable for the party. You're like, this might take like an hour or so but
Okay.
Barring any weirdness, it looks reasonably safe. It's just a rough, like, travel path. You would assume maybe this is where the limping figure possibly had come from.
Is there any? Just quickly, sorry to interrupt. Is there any footprints or anything, like in or out, or just around?
Because it's ice, it's probably, because it's not like snow and ice, but
Yeah.
It's probably hard to say. I mean, Shade would probably be able to tell that, yeah, if she was really looking and tracking, I'm assuming, survivalists would have some tracking skills. You probably, being the expert as well, also don't need to roll for this. You could probably tell that, yeah, your guess is dude came from here. There's been some traffic through here. You see some, what looks like, you would recognize like the softer shoes of a man that has frostbite toes, and softer. And you also see a much more aggressive, like possibly almost armor, not footprints per se, but like toe holds, like kicked into it maybe.
Okay.
I'm not
And actually,
sure.
you just reminded.
Yeah, go ahead, Fighter.
I was going to say, you just reminded me of it. Something just above game. I finally figured out my fourth skill, which was tracker.
Oh,
I know
cool.
that seems very convenient now, but you reminded me by saying tracking.
That's totally cool. You would not see any footprints along the ground level, right? Like Shade is seeing this. And so you guys are probably, how are you approaching this? Are you inching because you're like, what the fuck? I mean, that just seems like the standard MO for hearing a noise in the dark, right? But you tell me.
I'd be sword out at a wary pace, but not trembling, but just going carefully.
And who's taking the lead on this? Is it Checkers or Fighter or Fox? What are you doing?
Fox,
I'd not. Oh, sorry.
as per normal, is immediately stealthing once he catches sight of any person.
Yeah, totally. Are you using some fog action? You're like, because the fog's still like rumbling down the side of this thing, so it's easy to just like hide yourself in the fog if you'd like.
Yeah, he's dipping back into the fog.
Cool. Checkers, are you doing something crazy, or are you just kind of following the group?
Checkers for this right now will follow the group, actually.
Yeah, cool.
He won't be doing anything crazy yet.
Uh-huh. I would definitely blame the crazy stuff that Checkers might do on Checkers, the PC, not the player. Yeah, cool. So you guys walk around. Yulia, you notice, like, you poke your head. The sound gets louder and louder, and it seems to be very close to you, especially. And you kind of peer around, and you see a suit of armor, like what looks like heavy armored, like a knight in heavy armor, like struggling slowly to find a way up this path. And the rest of the group, you guys see from below, this knight has not made it very far up this path. You can tell it's kind of struggling because it's wearing full armor. And that's where the sound comes from. It's clear, like kicking in the ice to get traction on a heavy armored person. That's what's going on.
Does this armor look distinctive at all? Is there any livery or heraldry, something?
Wrath, what does your armor look like?
It's a very dark blue, like a black-blue color scheme. He has a bit of a cloak, not that much because it's just tatters. You see around his head there seems to be like some kind of glow. There's no identifying marks.
Okay.
But it's essentially full plate, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Not necessarily the kind of the ideal climbing gear, for sure.
No. He's definitely struggling getting up this ice. And making a terrible racket. Goodbye stealth for the group.
Yeah.
Is he aware of us?
Huh? I'm not sure he is. He's probably Shade is very stealthy. You guys probably haven't said anything or are far enough away with a helmet on and concentrating on not falling. He might not know what's going on.
I mean, if we see him, Checkers absolutely approach and say something.
Well, you guys are going to have to backtrack and then start walking up this path that Yulia's on.
All right.
It's not very far, though.
Or I could push him off. I could push him off so that he'd be closer to you guys.
That's true. That's up to you
Shove him
guys.
down. Just ruin his progress.
Yep. I don't think Shade would alert him to her presence just yet. Probably trail him for a little bit, although apparently he's going tremendously slowly.
Yeah, you guys are going to be super annoyed if he's in your way.
Yep.
Because he's going to be slower than all of you.
Like that person that you're following in the grocery store, and they're walking exactly down the middle of the aisle, and you can't go around them. It's really slow.
Well, that
Deadly
came
boring.
from a real place.
Not that I have any personal experience. Raging.
Also, actually, to the party on the ground, the seaside of the tower, quote unquote tower, that does look like you could probably climb it, but you'd probably need some gear. I don't suppose anyone's a climber or has gear.
Shade has natural crampons, but beyond that.
Yeah. Fox, are you a climber? Do you have climbing gear?
Is that in the adventuring gear stuff? I forget.
Probably not. That's a little. You might have rope. I don't know
Yeah,
about
no,
climbing
I'm
gear.
not much of a climber.
Cool.
Checkers will say, I am entirely about money. I cannot help.
Money out.
Entirely broke.
I'm also very poor.
Well, I mean, we're not exactly by a shop right now, anyway.
No.
Even if we were, we couldn't buy anything. I can buy anything.
So, given that with the party, like you guys are close enough. You're only like maybe 10, 20-ish feet from, Shade's only that far up on you guys. You could definitely do some hand signals and whatever in the night if you would like, and or backtrack and start up the path. However you guys want to handle it.
Yeah, I'll follow Shade up the path.
Yeah, I'd do the same.
Cool. Shade, are you just kind
I
of like...
will.
Sorry, Fox, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll follow Shade too.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
You guys... The crew follows behind. I assume... Fighter, what kind of armor are you wearing, actually? Just out of curiosity.
I am in light armor, so
Oh, cool.
not too
Yeah,
bad,
you're fine.
But
Oh, you're fine. If only the really heavy stuff would really be an obvious impediment, as Wrath now knows. Fun stuff. Cool. Shade, as you wait for the party, are you just kind of like wait and seeing?
Oh yeah, I'm observing the night.
Mm-hmm.
just watching him, tutting.
Yep, watching. No, I imagine she's actually gotten quite close too. She's probably not too far away from or behind him. Just watching quietly. Not sinister at all. I have no idea.
Wrath, how's it going? How's this climb going?
Not well. I've been going at this for a couple hours now.
How often have you like fallen and had to whoops, and then like had to gather yourself?
23 times.
Ooh, yeah, nice. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. Jordan too. That's good. Yeah. So, I would suggest enough time passes. Shade, you are now backed by the rest of the party. This is not a hard part of this climb for sure. Is there any sort of way where you would feel more comfortable interrupting a knight climbing up the side of a like, I'm not sure there's a good strategic point, but there is. You could possibly, like, I don't know, like if you had rope, you could probably come up with a way to make this more advantageous, like, in case this person is a threat. You don't know.
Well, Shade will look back at the rest of the party, and I imagine the knight is making so much noise that they can probably speak quietly to one another without
Definitely.
being overheard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, speaking. Checkers will look at the rest of the group and they'll look at Shade and he'll ask, You were watching this knight here for quite some time, right?
Yeah, he's not making very rapid progress.
I see. A man like this is someone who reminded me of my childhood. His name was Sisyphus, I think. He never did get up the hill. But one thing I do know is I stand a man who's noble like that. And in fact, he will step forward, he'll clear his throat, and he'll say, Excuse me there, sir.
Wrath startles, falls off the wall.
24.
Shade will attempt to grab him before he falls.
Can I help
Oh.
with that? I don't want him to fall.
Are we
I'm trying to
behind
get
him?
his attention.
We are behind him.
Yeah, so
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
I kind of missed how this went. Checkers, you kind of took the lead and walked by, carefully walked by Shade.
Yeah, and just started talking to him. I like yelled to get his attention.
Yeah, and you guys are very close to him. You probably so that's totally doable. And then do you want to just catch him, because you probably could.
Yeah, I can. I'll catch him.
Yeah, cool. You're strong. This is nothing new. You'd like grab onto his armor and pull him closer to the side.
Yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm.
He'll
What do you
put
wanna-
Raph down. We'll put Raph down, or like wherever it's like most safe, and
Yeah, cool.
we'll say, "What's a knight like you doing in the middle of nowhere? And he looks over your armor. Extravagant armor. I'm
I'm hunting
jealous.
a child.
Checkers will go to grab his sword.
So, did you say
You an
hunting?
ally of the witch,
Which
and then he'll put his sword away. All right, and then I think we have our minds alike. We're looking for a witch as well.
I'm not looking for a witch. I'm hunting for a child.
Is this child evil?
No.
He pauses for a minute, looks back at the group, and he says, my paladin duties never told me to attack people, but this man's hunting for a kid.
Wait.
Someone else.
Wait. Are you trying to hurt this child?
No.
Are you trying to
Oh,
save this
His
child?
mother. Yes, his mother asked me to find him.
See, I don't think we need to attack him. I think he's just trying to help everybody.
Why didn't you just say that earlier, sir? I'm not the best of words, so apologies if I got a little rowdy.
Hunting a child, that's what I'm doing, so I told you what I'm doing. What else would I be doing?
But maybe the word hunting a child is not the best way to make friends. Looking for, finding, rescuing. Those are better
Fighter
words,
just
right?
matters tracking.
Oh yeah, that big word.
Fuck's sake. Sorry.
I love this character so much.
He's great.
The himbo.
Fighter's going to just sort of walk between the two, back to Checkers, just try to stop this loop of daftness. Mm-hmm. Just look at Wrath, who I don't think we know his actual name yet. Mm-hmm. Just say, we're all trying to find out what's going on. Maybe gesture to help him up and say, welcome to join us. As long as you don't get in our way.
Raph takes his hand and pulls himself up. Reveals he's really tall. Like around 6'5".
Oh, dang, he's bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone here hasn't skipped leg day.
Don't have legs.
He looks down.
Look down.
Wait, you really don't
Look
have
up.
legs?
What?
Wait, does your character really not have legs?
No.
The armor
Wait, how
has
does your
legs.
character? How does your character look, Raph? You don't want to mind us asking.
Before he answers, he has to be rude. Fighter was going to gently lean back. I assume he's wearing a big helmet.
Yep.
Can I just use the pommel of my sword to just lift? I assume there's like a face guard. He's suddenly got the suspicion that there's like no one in the armor. So he's just like really nervous and just lifts it up.
Mm-hmm. Wrath, I assume you do have like a face guard, right?
Yes.
And if he were to lift it up, what would he see?
Remnants of a skull.
Cool. So Yeah. Defensive stance against that.
Do we all see that, or does only fighters see that?
Fighter's probably in the way. Like, you guys are like hugging a wall, right? Like, there is probably just enough room for one of you to, like in certain areas to manage to get around another. But yeah, if Fighter moved up and like it is in between you and he might be the only one that saw it.
Do I know what undead are?
I would think you do.
Okay.
I mean, you definitely know what a skeleton is. Wrath, are you translucent? Are you corporeal? Or are you just like a little bit
Armor
ghostly?
or my body.
Your body.
It's a bit ghostly. The skeleton is there.
Yeah.
You could see
Shimmering.
outlines of something that could be considered a face, but not enough to get enough details.
So there's your answer, Fighter.
Excellent. So basically, just without taking my eyes off him or relaxing my stance, I just announced to everyone that he's an undead, not knowing any better than that. But if you ask something else, I apologise. Fighter doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm. You maybe you would say he's all bones or something like that, right?
He's undead. Fighter
Yeah.
just does not like this sort of thing.
Cool. How does a really smart, really hot paladin feel about undead?
So, Checkers has actually never fought anything undead. He's only heard stories from the great elders and whatnot. So, he definitely, like, even in this small space, you'll see him go for his sword and he'll start, like, not screaming, but he'll start talking aggressively, saying, "Undead? It can't be. He speaks in such a formal manner. I've never heard of an undead that can speak." You must be lying, Fighter.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I had literally no response to that. I was genuinely expecting you to do something stupid rather than question me.
I have my reasons as a player. As a player, I don't want to attack other players, and I'm not going to. But also, like as a
Okay, I think I need to draw my sword and point it at Checkers. Who are you, and what have you done with the real Checkers? Does he
What are you
seem
talking
any
about?
less glorious than the last time I saw him?
all right. If you want me to lean into my cringe, I can. I retroactively, in fact, check if you want me to go that way. If you're comfortable with that, Raph, Checkers will actually like unsheath his sword and point it at Raph, and he'll say, "You're undead. If so, prove it to us. Show us what's underneath that mask."
My visor is up. Are you blind?
I can't see with Fighter in the way.
Sounds like a you
Yes?
problem.
I see. He kind of looks at him over, and he does see like a skeleton face. He looks back at the group and he says, "I've never heard of a skeleton that could talk, and also is a smartass. I wonder if this is the magic of the witch up there." He's gonna literally blame everything on the fucking witch. Like at this point, just assume all that's a scapegoat answer.
I know one thing. Okay, Fighter's basically just gonna no, he's not relaxing his stance, but he's calming down a bit. He just looks at again the knight. Just asks him to explain, what do.
It's also clear to all of you that this knight is really slow, and he's kind of in your way. Like, I don't know if you need to decide if you want to bring him with, or like, because maybe he's helpful to you. Maybe you could see him in that light, but you probably want to help him up this rough path if you want to get there before next year.
Dad, I've got a great idea for it.
Yeah,
Fighter
good
just
idea.
freaked out.
Checkers will say, "This is a temporary truce. You haven't shown your sword to us nor attacked us, but I'm watching you, undead." And he does that thing where he points his 2 index fingers at himself and then at Raph.
Oh, the eyes pointing at your
The
eyes.
eyes thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, points at his eyes and points at Raph. My eyes are on you. You try any funny shaman magic, and it's over.
I can't do magic.
And he paused for a minute. I can't really either. But that's not the point.
A lot of fighters in this group.
Yeah. Worryingly
Yeah.
so.
All right.
All
Now-
incompetent,
now
though.
Now that we've established this, there is the small matter that you are a bit in the way, and no offense, but quite slow.
I'm slow up this cliff. It's a cliff. Can't be fast up a cliff.
You can. I can be fast up a cliff. You can't. But that is the problem. We might need to get around you.
Who are
any-
you?
What's that?
How?
Who are all of you? I don't know your
Call.
names.
Does
Well,
do we want to go
Bart
around the group?
Larry.
And, sorry. Do we want to introduce characters to Sir Wrath, let's say?
Sure. Has Wrath already told us his name?
No.
No.
I am the Fox, or you can call me the Fox. That's not my real name. It's just the name I go by now. Anyways, nice to meet you.
And this is probably from the Fox who, while everybody else is kind of like stammering with who they are, the Fox pokes his head around and he's probably the last in line. And his white, is it ceramic? Did we say ceramic mask?
Yeah, it's
Porcelain?
ceramic. It's
Yeah.
probably ceramic since that's a bit tough for the porcelain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's probably right behind Wrath, so he just like pokes his head around like Wrath's shoulder or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool.
I was wondering when you're going to announce yourself.
Anybody else?
I'm deliberately waiting for everyone else to go first.
I'll go. Checkers will begrudgingly say, "The name is Checkers. I'm a paladin. That's all you need to know. And I fight evil, like you."
Isn't your name a game?
Game. My name is my name.
It's a dumb name.
Shade. Shade will just say Shade, and will continue staring at Wrath with just unself-conscious interest, just openly staring.
Do you want to describe Shade at least?
Oh, okay. Yes, I suppose we could do that. Shade is a tabaxi woman. She is, I don't have that picture, but I'm sure of her handy. She's reasonably tall, kind of lanky, and she looks kind of like a serval cat. Kind of desert with large and yellowish fur, black or dark brown markings.
And not a badger hat. Does not look like she's wearing
And not a badger hat.
No.
She's not wearing a hat.
Fighter.
Fighter's just going to look up, just I don't have a name.
Everybody has a name.
Just can I see? Do you have a backpack? Do you have any gear on you?
I have a sword.
Okay. Does any of the team have any adventuring gear on them? Because I don't. Through stupidity.
What ability are we looking for?
Adventuring gear.
I do.
The fox
I have
does.
adventuring gear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call Fox over to me if I can. Just sort of summon him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that sounded really bad. Cool. Just gesture him over. I meant.
He appears behind you. Yeah.
Just slowly tell him. I'm going to start rifling through his adventuring kit. I'm looking for caltrops. Do you have those in there? I think you should have.
I think you do. Yeah.
Cool. Last time we were talking about using like spiky things to make the grippy shoes.
Mm-hmm.
This time I've had the idea of tying caltrops to the side of the feet, not under them, so that as we walk or attempt to climb things, they dig in the ice a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You would also find a pair of crampons, the ice walking shoes, in his adventuring gear while you're looking.
Yeah, there you go.
So you had those, and we didn't use them.
Oh yeah, I forgot those were there.
Fighter is just going to glare at you.
I have yet to introduce myself.
That's also true.
Fighter's still just rummaging away while he talks.
I am Wrath. I am a Revenant.
A Revenant knight.
Get a motion.
A Revenant. What is a Revenant something any of us would have heard of? I don't know that Shade would have. Maybe Checkers?
You could certainly ask
A
him.
Revenant. I feel like truckers have an idea of what a Revenant is. I can make a check though if you'd want me to.
No, I think
Necessary.
you would as a paladin. Paladins probably would know what a Revenant is. I would expect.
All right. Actually, look that up because I forgot myself as a player what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it is. Okay. Checkers will kind of shift in his light armor a little bit. A Revenant is a person who's returned from death. So this man is undead. Some call them zombies. Some call them Revenants. Depends. What makes you any different from a zombie?
That's a good question.
Zombies don't have minds. And they do. Just not sentient. I am.
Fair. You would have started eating our brains for all I've heard from the stories. So,
I don't have
suppose
a
I'll
mouth
trust you for now.
or a stomach.
My point still stands. You could have eaten our brains anyhow.
Logically, I cannot because I do not have a stomach or a mouth.
Well, anyhow, I think we've talked long enough. We have evil to be fighting, do we not?
I'm not fighting evil. I'm hunting a child.
Can you please stop wording it like that? It does not make my moral conscience feel any better.
Brings me joy.
Checker just looks at the rest of the group and he just like kind of mouths, "Are we really working with this man?" Man, quote unquote.
Very well. If you seek my aid in slaying evil, I have done it many times before.
Well, shall we get going then?
Many great evils have fallen to my blade.
Yes. That's nice. All right, let's continue.
Right.
How wide is this area that we're on? This path?
In some areas it is like there's there's no room to pass each other. But in others you can, just for the at this point, like Wrath is at a point where you guys could step around him, basically. There's any number of ways that like you could help him climb. A rope might be one, or I imagine that adventuring gear, you might have an axe in there, like a hand axe or something, or a pick. I don't know.
That makes sense. He'd probably have a hand axe.
That does make sense. Adventuring gear 101.
How'd you doing?
This is when Shade first sent me that picture. I was like, "Are you wearing a badger hat? That's kind of cool."
I thought you were joking. I didn't realize you were serious until later.
I did. Well, the fox had a mask. I was like, everyone has a mask. All right, this is cool. But while we're at this, if we want to let's take a 5-10 minute break, and feel free to think of a good way to perhaps speed up Wrath's climbing. I don't know. And we'll be back in a few. How about that?
All right.
Sounds good.
Cool. So,
You said you have rope, right?
I do have rope.
Yeah.
Tie the rope around him and just carrying him up.
That sounds like he's probably pretty heavy.
You just bobsled him.
He's just armor.
Oh, he is? Maybe that'll work.
You take a bit each. We'll come back to this.
here we are. Is everyone back? Cool. So, Fox, you guys have been digging through your bag. A little bit like Felix's bag of tricks, probably. We're just gonna roll with that because it's fun. Did you guys come up with some way to speed up Wrath's ascent? Let's say.
Rope. We're gonna carry him up, I guess.
Just kind of tie it to him, and he's just gonna. You're giving him the crampons, just like, and then just pulling him up.
Yeah, I thought that was a good idea. Crampon trick.
That I can see that working just fine. I don't see why that wouldn't help him. And he is pretty light. Is that true, Wrath? You're not even skin and bones, just bones.
Yeah,
He's wearing armor.
There's barely any bones left.
Yeah.
As he said,
like
he doesn't even have his leg bones.
Cool. Yes.
Only part of his legs that are left are his feet.
Awesome.
'Cause you gotta keep the feet.
Yeah. So, is that what we're doing?
Sounds like it.
Yep. Let's go.
Cool.
While everyone is doing this, Shade is going to get around Wrath and begin picking her way forward again.
Mm-hmm. So, Shade, you're going to take point, basically?
Yep.
Who's holding the rope, literally and figuratively?
Checkers will.
Cool. So maybe Checkers second. Fighter, where are you? Helping or taking up the rear?
Is Fox helping?
Good question.
I
Fox?
will help where necessary.
Fighter will not purely on the, he will be keeping his head on a swivel defensively around the team.
Okay, so Fox, might you be like clearing the path, like basically helping to try, maybe not holding the rope, so like you're in between, like the rope is you're like dodging the rope and like clearing the path, like noting to Wrath where maybe like good footholds and shit like that.
Yeah, that's probably what he's doing, using his perceptive abilities to pick up the best path.
Yeah, so like the group is basically helping him climb. It sounds like, like, so Shade, you're kind of looking out, kicking off any, debris and bullshit. Then Checkers, you're holding the rope and like, helping pull him up. Fighter, you're in the rear, just kind of like checking for stuff, like making sure you're not snuck up on or whatever. And Fox, you're kind of helping clear the immediate path and point out good toeholds. I'm going to say this is a great way, a group effort. No rolls necessary. I think you guys can climb up this rough path with little to no effort or no issues, right?
Yep.
Cool. And so you guys do so, and it's like it's slow going still, but it's way quicker than waiting than it was. You're like half hour in, and you look to be about halfway up. And along the way, there have been like you step and like you hear like the how ice. Like when you're on a pond, sometimes you hear the ice just kind of move and like crack, and maybe there's little blue splinters and veins. But with this plan, everyone kind of just stops and like holds their breath and like, but you escape any peril from that end. It's also about this time when you see. It's really hard to describe what it is. You hear almost like it's almost like a lullaby kind of singing, like a low singing, and you see something like fly, kind of circle around and kind of like hover for a second, almost as if like some sort of bird-like creature, almost as if it like stopped to catch an eye of you and kept going. And you hear like a child's voice cry out from. You would guess that it sounds like this creature has a child with it, which is a little creepy.
All right. I am going to start, I guess, moving up as quickly as I can while not leaving the group.
Yeah, cool. So you guys all try to pick up the pace a little. You're like, something's going down. Yeah, because you guys are kind of sitting ducks on this thing, like. Cool. So you kind of try to double your efforts, and you do definitely speed up. Shade, you guys are like nearing the top, and you're able to see from your vantage point. You scout ahead a little bit, right? Like, so the party is. Like 20, 30 feet behind, probably more than that. You probably book up like 100 feet.
Okay.
And you're able to see, like the blue light coming from the what looks like an entrance or of some sort into the tower. Essentially kind of seeming like a window with light coming out of it, and where the fog is coming out and spilling down the sides, right? Like every time you guys are encircled, because this path kind of spirals up the tower, right? Like sometimes you're on the creepy land side, which is way more stiff, and then it'll spin back around, and so you're kind of going around and around. The creature you saw looked like you didn't see where it went, but it just disappeared. It's gone. And you see a faint. It looks like, and this is funny to you because you are Tabaxi. It looks like there's in the blue light emanating from whatever opening that is, you see the silhouette of a cat sitting there.
Ooh. Just the silhouette?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really tell until you get closer. You do notice a little bit more noise coming from behind you, and it does look like they're speeding up a little.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do, or are we just going to continue upward and onward?
Is
the
this
silhouette
where the child's cries are coming from?
The child's cries were coming from whatever the flying creature was, and now the creature is gone. But it was up here with you. You might surmise that it has entered the tower, possibly, but you don't know.
All right. Well, I am going to head towards wherever that child's cries were going, because that would be my first priority.
Cool. Shade, you were going to say?
Is the silhouette of the cat, or what appears to be the cat, moving at all, or is it completely still?
It seems like it might even be watching you guys. It's that kind of thing, right? Like ears, maybe you can see a tail, maybe you can't, maybe you're just envisioning it. Maybe it's the fog. It's hard to tell, but do you want to get closer? What's that?
Going to pick up a rock.
Well, I don't think you can see the cat if that's what you're looking for.
I'm just picking up a rock.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a chunk of ice. You can grab it.
How far away from me is this opening?
Couple 100 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna hold my position for a little while, just to let the group get a little bit closer to me, because you said, Shade had gotten up about 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna wait until they're within, hearing range or speaking range, and she'll point out the silhouette that she sees.
Mm-hmm. And the first person you see is Checkers, and those guys do eventually catch up to you fairly quickly, because the fox is double timing them and maybe cheering them on. Oh, come on, let's go. We gotta gotta go find the children.
Okay, and as they're closer now, Shade will tell them, stay back just a minute while I go ahead and see if there's anything.
You're doing what? Sorry.
I'm just gonna go ahead on my own a little closer to make sure that nothing is going to happen before they continue.
Right.
Does that make sense?
So basically you're keep coming, I gotta go, I want to check something out kind of thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
Checkers, what do
she's
you say to
gonna try
that?
to get closer.
Checkers will look over at Shade and says, "That's a silhouette of a cat, right?"
As long as it looks like a cat to you two. I just assumed it was my own bias speaking,
Mm-hmm.
Do I see a cat?
You do see a cat.
We should approach it.
That's exactly what I had in mind. And with that, she will turn and start ascending.
And Checkers, I imagine you continue to pull the train along.
Yes.
Did anyone want to do anything, or is it just like let's get the fuck off this this cliff face or rock face? I'm gonna take that as a no. So the train keeps going. Shade, you book ahead. This is pretty easy for you, being Tabaxi and having the your toes are probably cold. Everyone's probably a little cold.
Probably very cold. Yeah.
But you get up close, yeah, and you definitely see the cat. You can just make out. It looks like it's a dark colored cat. Maybe some reds. You can't tell if it's red or orange probably until you get right up on it. And you can definitely see in the moonlight that it has like milky white socks, like for feet. And glaring. In the moonlight, you can see the green eyes of a like glowing of a cat. And you also, as you approach, you see it kind of total cat you, like it gets up, spins a couple times, and then jumps back into the hole, into the whatever the opening is, and disappears.
Well, alrighty then.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, I guess we just keep going.
Yep. And you guys all, Shade, you probably reach the top of this first. Hold on, let me take a peek at something here. Yeah, and like from this opening, it's a very large opening actually. You see a strong blue light as you kind of peer in. It looks like almost like a blue flamed fire. You catch the glint of that. The cat is gone. There is still fog just emanating from, like it's basically just pouring out and oozing down the sides of this thing. Sometimes on you guys, sometimes not, right? Like based on the wind and whatever. But let's see. Yeah. So basically, all you guys approach this this opening, and I assume you guys. Shade, you were there first, probably taking a peek. You've seen no danger, nothing that you can tell. You definitely see a blue, like a large blue, like flaming fire from outside that is inside this bonfire ish. Like you can hear like it's crackling. It sounds like a big fire inside this thing. But everyone is kind of like, now huddled right around you. Do you guys want to enter?
Can we see if there's any traps or hazards upon going in?
You certainly can. You take a peek around the openings, and you see nothing in the form of any kind of trap or fire, any kind of like threat. Let's say.
Okay.
I wish to throw the wall.
Yeah, Shade will go ahead and.
You'll kind of take a peek at a step in. What was that, Checkers?
That was me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm gonna put a hand on Shade's shoulder, motion her to wait, and I'm gonna throw the rock in there.
Okay, cool. You do so. You huck the rock, and you hear it just like clank, clank, clank.
Seems okay.
Always take rock. Rock makes sure there's no traps.
Solid plan. Nope, you see no traps, no nothing. Shade,
right.
as you walk in, you notice immediately this is a huge like icy room, right? Like it's like 60 feet wide, and there is a 10-foot crazy ass blue crackling bonfire in the middle of it.
Is there anything else besides the bonfire?
There is. Do you you might need to take a step in. I mean, get the people off the line, but there's nothing, no immediate danger you see. So like it's fairly safe.
Okay.
So there, your bonfire
There is a bonfire.
what I'm hearing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. As you guys
so,
go ahead.
well, are there people nearby? Is what I'm asking. It's like, do we see like hostages? I guess.
What are you asking, Fox?
Oh, sorry, I'm not close to my mic.
I was
Yeah.
asking. So, are there like people near the bonfire right now, or does it seem like there's just a bonfire here in the middle of this ice tower?
Just a bonfire.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys. Let's just say you guys are slowly walking in, and I'll describe what you're seeing. So yeah, there is definitely a large crackling, and it's cold. It's not like warm fire. It's like a cold fire. It looks like the fire is being fueled by bones. There is a large pile of obvious bones next to it. You see what looks like just like the hilt of a sword coming out of this bonfire. To the side, you guys see there's a small like icy table, like a small like round like table built out of the ice that has on it a number of large golden apples. As you're walking in, the floor is like slippery and smooth. There's not really any debris, but you do see a small number of these like really beautiful like exotic feathers. It's crazy town. They look gorgeous.
I'm going to walk forward and try to pull the hilt of that sword out of the fire.
Okay, cool. And you do so. There's no. You walk up to the bonfire. You feel the cold. If a revenant can feel cold, the armor definitely turns cold because it's not hot. It's cold. You grab the sword. You pull it right out, and the sword itself is like a short sword. It has like a harmless and dim like blue light shining off of it.
Useless. I'm gonna throw it away.
Throw it where?
Behind me or something.
What's that?
I'm going to throw the blade over my shoulder and say useless.
Okay, cool. And it clangs down on the ice.
Are we all in the room now, or are we still hanging off the cliff, correct?
You're
We're
all in the room.
Okay. Checkers is going to, look around. He'll first observe the bones. Are they, human bones?
It looks
Or
like
animal?
there's a mix of animal and maybe possibly, humanoid, possibly monstery, But, yeah, it's a large, just like... It clearly looks like you can clearly see that the fire is fueled by bones, and there is a supply of bones. Let's say that. Also, as you guys are doing this, you notice the walls, because it's icy. It's a large icy thing. It has from the fire. It's creating this crazy dancing rainbow effect on the wall. Possibly a synth colors. That's an inside joke.
Ooh, pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Any synth weed to be visible right now?
Synth weed? No, sadly. No dice bags full of weed.
Checkers will stoke the fire, actually. He'll look at the fire for a minute and he'll say, "This fire is cold. How is this possible? This must be the.
Do you stoke it with the? Do you pick up the sword off the ground that Wrath had thrown to stoke it?
Yes.
Or are you stoking it with something else?
Yeah, with the sword that Wrath picked off the ground.
Yeah.
Throw on the ground. Excuse me.
Yeah, and yeah, as you stoke it, it definitely produces even more fog. The fog is definitely emanating from this, and it's just like cranking out the opening and down. This is clearly the origin of the fog.
Checkers will say, it might be best if we remove this fog. It'll give us visibility that we otherwise wouldn't have. If something were to say to attack us, we would need all the visibility possible.
How would you like to do so?
That's the good question. Wait. There's a bonfire, but there's nothing like cooking on it, right? Just the bonfire itself, correct?
Yeah. And the bonfire is blue flame and producing the fog.
I'm gonna try to remove the bones and stuff off the bonfire, like just kick them off. Not kick them off, but move them off with a sword, not my physical feet. No.
Right. Cool. So you're using the sword to like kind of put out the fire, and you do try to like kick it a little, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. Just like, like you would with a normal fire, just kind of like kicking it over, and it definitely starts going out as especially when you pull the sword. When you kind of touch the bones of the sword, you're getting the sense like the sword is what is igniting the bones.
Oh. Can I make a check to see if the sword's magical? Is that possible? I'm not sure how
you
wouldn't even
need a check. I mean, it has like a blue flame to it, like a dull blue flame. You know it's definitely magical.
Okay. Checkers will say, this sword definitely is magical. I wonder what use it has for. In the meantime, though, he'll just try to remove the fog that's in the room.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
We'll have the other people do their own thing.
Yep. Fighter, what you doing?
I'm kind of curious about the sword.
Mm-hmm.
The fight would be trying to carefully investigate it, if he can kind of get near it and inspect it.
Mm-hmm.
Checkers will give it to him without struggle. He'll just say, "Here you go."
Other than being, blue and whatever, does it seem better than my longsword or anything?
Does it seem like what?
Better than my longsword. Can I tell it's any better?
Oh, you would think that it probably is. You might swing it, to take a peek at it, look down the sight of it, and see what kind of thing it is. It swings real good, and it seems like it might have potential, to be. It's a magical sword, right? Maybe it helps. Maybe you swing it and see if it can cut through bone, into the pile of bones, and if you do so, those bones ignite like they were oak.
Okay. Can I try just... I don't want to do it on the floor. There's any just chunk of ice or something nearby. Can I try just pushing it into it? If it has a hot...
you're in an ice cavern basically, but yeah.
Yeah. And don't want to affect the structure.
Yeah, totally. So you just try to stick it into the wall, a wall of ice, and it does what a normal sword would do. No real effect there.
Okay, so it's not hot; it's just a flame.
Yep, it's a cool flame. This thing, the blue flame. It's non-harmful, but you feel it's cooling effect. You're this would be nice if in a desert, air conditioned, really.
I'm not sure if Checkers would know this word, but if you want me metagaming for a bit, Brian, there's a term called ethereal. like ethereal.
Mhm.
Like, would this be? I'm metagaming here, but would this be like an ethereal flame? Because I doubt checkers would know what an ethereal flame is.
It could
Like,
be that.
A
Sure.
cold flame.
Yeah. Like some sort of. So basically, you guys definitely would. It's obvious after just like playing around with it that this thing is. It doesn't feel like it's not harmful. It is cool to the touch, right? Like you can like wipe your hand through it, and it's like, oh wow, it's a cooling effect. But when it touches bone, it seems to ignite that into and create the fog, right? Like the burn from the bone is not like it is a blue flame, but it also produces like steamy fog.
Does it ignite anything else?
Not ice, nothing else that you've tried.
Has it touched our flesh yet?
You can certainly do that.
Checkers will like look at the group and they'll say, "So we've tested that this sword doesn't work against any non-physical, how do you say the word, non-living thing. So then likely we need to test it in someone's flesh. Who wants to volunteer?" Checkers will not volunteer himself, by the way.
The fox will volunteer.
Nice.
So, sticking the hand in the fire?
I mean,
more
yeah,
like
what
he's
do you-
gonna like.
Go ahead.
I mean, Checkers
And he
is gonna
sticks his
like
hand in the
hold
fire.
out. Okay, he does that. Okay, do that. That works there.
What do you do, Fox?
He sticks his hand into the fire.
Oh, so you just like grab the sword?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it feels like cool to the touch, but like your hands are not burning or frozen. Yulia, I apologize. Shade, you become aware that you get this feeling like you're being watched, and you look over, and there's a cat sitting there watching you guys.
Yeah, I was about to say, while everybody's testing the bonfire and whatnot, Shade would have been looking around the rest of the room. Where is the cat?
Just sitting by the maybe even up on the icy table with the apples, sitting, just sitting there as a cat would, just like perched.
Shade will slowly approach. Does the cat move?
No.
Is there anything unusual about the cat? Does it just appear to be a normal cat?
It does look like one. The one weird thing is it has like red hair. I'm not sure if have you ever seen a red cat? Red hair, green eyes, milky white paws.
Okay, and by red haired, you don't mean like orange. You mean actually red?
And it scares the shit out of the elk, and the elk. The elk. So it's basically a ginger cat. So I mean, it could be orange, but it looks a little bit more red than orange. It's definitely different than, like, say, my cat that is an orange cat, but it's a darker. It's closer to red. But yeah, ginger kitten. Good luck.
Okay. It is. Is it just? I mean, what's its demeanor like? Does it appear hostile? Is it just?
No, it
calm
seems like
enough?
it seems like it's totally approachable. Like, doing the cat thing as you come up, just starting to purr, that kind of deal.
Okay. Well, I can't not pet the cat, so I will attempt to give it some scritches.
Yeah, and it responds by like headbutting your hand and like moving around and like doing all the cat things. And as the cat is doing that, you're looking around the room and you notice that there are a number of exits from this room. 5 to be exact. One, excuse me, actually 6. One of which you came through. One of which looks like it looks out the other side, across the entire room, like 60 feet across. There's another opening that looks like it goes right outside. You see darkness. There are some steps down. There is almost like a cave entrance room with no door, just open. So these two passages would be kind of like on the north wall, let's say. There's another set of steps going up to another door on the south side, let's say. And there's actually 2 sets of doors, one of which is covered with a film of ice, like you can't see through it, except there's basically like a man-sized hole cut like right in the middle of it, which is weird. Let me try to give you guys a visual here. Boink. Cool. You're seeing this. You came from the left. You're looking out towards land, out the other side. Steps down are directly to the north. Then the other northern steps up. Whatever. To the south, to the leftmost southern steps. That's the one with ice, and the other one just normal step up to some sort of entrance.
Shade will look back at the cats and say, I don't suppose you know where we're supposed to go.
And it's just purrs at you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And this table has the apples on it?
Mm-hmm.
Are they in a bowl, or are they just on the table?
They're just on the table. They're gigantic, right? Like they're like a grapefruit-sized apple, shiny golden, but like looks very familiar to you, fighter.
So have I noticed all this now? Like I wandered off and
and
such.
Yeah, you guys are just like you guys immediately went to the sword and the bonfire, but yeah. Once you're satisfied with this, maybe you're still holding the sword, and you see Shade there playing with the kitten.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and take the sword, by the way.
Cool.
Make that clear.
Anybody else want to do something?
Checkers will actually start to approach the stairs that go down.
Mm-hmm.
He'll look at the table momentarily. He'll say, "It might not be in our best interest to eat that, especially with the man we saw earlier."
Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in taking an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he is going down, I'm going to go up.
Okay. Which one? Which set of stairs? Down and to the left, down and to the right, or up and to the right?
Up and to the right.
One more time?
Up and to the right. That's what you said?
Yeah, up and to the right, and there's 2 stairs going up to down and to the left and right.
Yeah, I'll go up to the right.
Cool. So yeah, do you just want to poke your head in there? What are you trying to do?
Just going to enter the room.
Oh yeah, cool. I mean, you poke your head around. Hold on. This is a more like jagged ice, but you notice like in the further back, it looks like a fairly like a couple of different cave rooms. Immediately through the front of it, you see like there's a big blob of like hay on the floor. In the hay, you see like a small, like a child's doll laying in it.
I'm going to go pick up the doll.
Okay, you just walk right in. Cool. As you're walking through, you're like, you notice like there's large juts of like dark wood coming out of each wall. You know, like running from the walls, and there are some what look like they're really intricate and like beautiful ice sculptures, like dozens of them, right? Like all
As
sitting.
I want to kick it.
You're gonna kick it? It's like perched up on. They look like birds. They're perched up on the on like the like wood beam. It's not beams. It almost looks like tree trunks like coming through the wood. Do you want to just knock one off of it?
Yes, I shall use my trusty rock.
you pick up another the same rock. You've run attached to it.
The same. That's the same rock. I'm gonna name it Dave.
Yeah, and you huck a rock at the ice sculpture because it is quite. You know, it's probably like 10 feet above you, and you hit one, and it chips the ice. They're definitely made out of. It looks like that someone had like just carved these gorgeous ice sculptures. It's crazy.
I'm gonna pick the rock up again and try to hit the same one. I'm going to break it.
Yeah, cool. And you hit it again. It's cool. What you want to do?
Well, after my daily act of vandalism, I'm gonna go pick up the doll.
Cool. And it's just like a little rag doll, and it's you know like it looks like it's just been like left here in a large mound of hay.
Going to bring the doll down to shade and see if she can sniff it to find the child.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I don't know. I am perceptive.
Yeah,
give it a shot.
Sure. Before we do that, Fox, were you doing anything?
I would probably be following them.
You're gonna have to get close to your mic, man. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Oh, sorry. I said I'm probably following them.
Sticking close to the shadows, warily watching what they're doing.
Define they. Which person are you really concentrating on?
Shade and Chester. Especially Chester.
I want that to be canon now.
I can't stop looking at him.
Chester, also known as Checkers. What are you doing?
Checkers is going down the stairs. He has his short sword ready. He will like not yell, but he'll say up before he like goes downstairs. If I hear of anything or anything attacks me, I'm coming running back up.
Mm-hmm. So you take the first couple steps, and then there's like the last step is like a 3-foot drop off. Do you want to jump down there?
Goodness, 3-foot drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Could I jump up 3 feet? I don't know if I could do that physically.
Oh, I mean, no, you can, but I'm just saying, like, do you want to jump down?
No. I'm asking. I can. If I like jump down, could I get back up?
Yeah, it's
Easily?
only 3 feet. Yeah, it's 3 feet.
Okay. In my brain, I don't know how that looks in like real life. So
yeah, it's cool.
Anyway, yeah, he'll jump down.
Cool. You do so, and you see this is like it. It has the vibe of like it's like a forest path in winter. The path immediately the cavern immediately shrinks down to like a 10-foot section, right? And it's like a forest path in winter, right? Like trees. It's dark and wet down here. The most noticeable thing are there what look like little birds. Tons of them. Just like it's a similar deal to what Wrath was saying. There's like old growth wood kind of cutting through the ice above you, right? Like, and on the sides. And these birds are just little birds, little red birds, just like, fluttering a little bit. They're not making any noise or anything. But the walls are like icy smooth. And it's like mirrored down here. Like it's almost like you immediately almost get slightly unsettled with how, like, cause it's like walking in a hall of mirrors kind of thing. I imagine you don't go too deep, but that's just that's what you're seeing. And this path appears to continue downward, like on a downward slope. No stairs, but just like on a downward slope.
Oh, like a slide.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Like, don't lose your feet or you'll be sliding down.
Checkers will like look around the room. He'll actually speaking say, "Is anyone there?" And he'll wait for a response.
Right, and you say that, and yeah, nothing. Nobody responds. The birds, they don't make any noise, but they just flutter.
And the birds are in cages, correct?
Nope, they're just like free form, just like sitting on limbs, on these black limbs, jutting through the ice, right? Like, like a limb, it looks like branches that are just like cutting through the ice overhead, right? Like, and they're just they're perched on these various black walls. Black icy things. Let me give you this. Boink, boink. I know how you like visuals. Something like that.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that helps. Checkers will definitely like raise his short sword and he'll investigate a little bit more. He will not get to the slide part because he knows if he slips, he's going down, and he's not sure how he's going to get back up.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So he will not get that close.
Okay.
But he will make note of this room. Like, he'll look at the birds. The birds they look like normal birds.
Yeah, they're kind of adorable. They're small, like roundish. They look like a little chubby, but yeah, they're not currently making any noise. They're just like every once in a while they're fluttering, just flap 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 flap.
All right. Well, he'll make note of that, and he'll actually go back up the stair. He will actually approach like the beginning of the slide, and he'll look down it. Do I see anything?
Let me think. Hold on. Let me get a visual. So yeah, you're looking down this thing. It goes on for a long while, right? Like, you can only see like from where you are. You're not venturing too far down this, right? Like you can still see the entrance, right? Yeah, and as you walk down the entrance, it curves around a little, and so you can't, and like you'll peek around that curve, but you don't really see anything, right? Like, and I can give you a visual of this too. It looks kind of like boop this.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, he'll make note of that. He'll like write that down, and he will go back upstairs.
Cool. Cool. Wrath, what are you and Shade? You're conferring with Shade. What do you guys want to do?
Try and what was it? Use what to track the child?
It's doll. I'll walk up to Shade, and I'll put the doll in front of her face and say, Smell. Fine child.
Oh my god. Okay, you don't actually have to speak to me like that. I will help you, but yeah,
This is how I talk to
I'm not
everybody.
actually a police bloodhound.
I don't know
I
what
did
you're
get a
talking
6 though.
about. I talk to everybody like this.
My mind went immediately to Spinal Tap, Smell the Glove, but let's not go there. So, Wrath, you were asking Shade to smell this doll and see if she can tell what child it is. What
Find a
info are you
child.
looking for? Find this child?
Yes.
Cool. Do you smell it, Shade?
I do. Shade will go ahead and see if there's anything. She might not just leave it at that, but inspect the doll certainly and see if there's anything useful to be gleaned from it.
I would say it does not feel warm to the touch. It appears to be just like a typical rag doll. Like you squeeze it and it's probably stuffed with whatever, sawdust or whatever it is that rag dolls typically are stuffed with. It appears a regular doll, not specifically odorous in any specific way. It's possible that it's cool to the touch, it doesn't feel like it has been immediately, it has not been coddled, let's say, in the immediate time frame.
And where did you find this?
Up the stairs.
Wrath?
I found it after I broke some statues.
Is this the only sign of a child that you found?
There was hay. Do you know that is a sign of a child?
Take me to the room where you found this. I'll see if there's anything else.
Okay. He turns around and leads Shade back up the stairs.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You guys pop up the stairs. You walk into the room. Same deal. Shade, you see the ice sculptures overhead. There is the cavern continues to the back. More ice sculptures. You see more hay on the floor back there. Let me see. I'll give you this visual. I love copy and paste. Yeah. Just like a cavernous thing. Again, black. Like you would think maybe even like petrified. Tree limbs, huge. Just there's like at least a dozen or two ice sculptures. They're very intricate and beautiful. You see the chips out of the one the closest to the closest, that little chunk of hay. You assume that's what Wrath was talking about.
Is there anything else in the hay? Like if you sifted around a bit?
You sift it around and you find a needle. It's crazy. Who would have thunk?
Oh, fantastic. What are the chances?
Mm-hmm. But that's all you found.
Okay. Well, I literally found a needle in a haystack, but I did not see any further signs of a child. We'll just have to keep an eye out for something else. This does appear to be a dead end, though. I suppose we can head back.
Very well.
Yeah.
Cool. Is anyone, Fox, you're just kind of like shadowing and checking out various things? Go ahead.
Does that look... So the fox is now starting to get like this really eerie feeling.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, I mean, there's no way that things are going this perfectly right now. So I think he's like sticking to the shadows, looking around for even like the slightest sign of a threat.
Mm-hmm. And you walk past. Hold on, let me see. Nope. Yep. Got it. You walk past the room, the bottommost rightmost room, the one covered with like a sheet of ice that is semi-translucent with I would say a man-sized, like you could fit through it, round hole in the middle. And you see an enormous polar bear wearing a helmet, snoring.
I freeze. All right, so can I see anybody else
In that room?
around right now?
Oh, like around
Like
in
in
the
our
room?
group. Yeah, like can I
Oh,
see the
yeah.
fighter, checkers?
I think everyone is now back in the main room.
Okay, I am going to slowly head back to the main room.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, you were just like sticking your head in this into this room through the hole in the ice, probably. So you were just like, you walked up the stairs, stuck your head in, saw a polar bear with a helmet, and you're like, nope, and you're out.
Yep.
Cool. Fighter, what you doing?
Excuse me. Did I see what was in there? I mean, I'm kind of just following everything at this point, just taking in everything there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, cool. So you guys all kind of confer back. Everyone has had like a little peek. Fox would tell you there's a polar bear wearing a helmet in that room. And he points to the southernmost east or the bottommost right room. No one has checked out the bottom left room. The north left room that now I want to call him Chauncey. Are we just gonna always get Checker's name wrong? It's like Chuck, Charlie,
Chuck.
So Checkers would tell you his tale of seeing little red birds perched on black wood beams and mirror-like surface, and both Shade and Wrath. Shade, maybe you're still holding a needle and a fucking doll. And explain like there's a bunch of weird ice sculptures in there. They're pretty intricate and crazy town. One might even say lifelike. So we noped the fuck out of there. And that's so you guys are all kind of standing around and conferring these stories. What do you want to do?
Checkers will speak up and say, none of us find anything that's sentient can talk. If there is a polar bear, and he pauses for a minute, because that's kind of bizarre. If there's a polar bear for a hat, what if it's not hostile? How do we know?
Let's kill it.
Well, hold on there, Raph. There's no reason to go for violence just yet. If it shows hostility, it means to harm us. Wait a minute. We might be able to find out some information on this possible witch. Our end goal is to witch that child. Correct? That's not true. And he looks at Shade. Shade's a talking cat. I think that's fair enough. And you
Fair.
are talking Revenant.
What?
He says you're a talking zombie and Shade's a talking cat. I think that is reasonable enough to say it's a talking. Close enough. I think it's reasonable enough to say that maybe that bear might talk. Let's choose diplomacy first. And I am a man of diplomacy after all.
I don't-
Smiles.
I don't think Shade believes that the polar bear is going to speak, but she's absolutely not going to miss Checkers attempting diplomacy with it. So I definitely have to watch this.
If we don't fight the bear by killing it stealthily, we're not going to beat it. The polar bear.
If no one believes me, I will attempt to talk with it. If it seems to be hostile, you can be the first one to strike it down, Raph. How about that?
No.
No.
Path walks off down the path down the staircase that does not have the bear.
The
we didn't
north,
start yet.
north left, up and to the left, where cool. So you stomp out of the main room and down the stairs.
Yes, because he's looking for a child, not to fight a bear or talk to a bear.
Cool, fair enough. What do the rest of you guys want to do?
I will go to the bear.
I must witness this.
Same. Cool. So Checkers, you walk up to the there's so many rooms off this room. The bottom right room. There is a clear. The ice is probably a couple inches thick, but there is a hole cut in the middle. Would you like to stick your head through, or are you just going to what are you looking to do?
Well, where's the bear in vicinity to the room? Like, is it near the hole or not?
Cool. Yeah, so it's in the middle of the room. It is loudly snoring. You can see, if you stick your head through, you will see that it looks like it is like sleeping and hugging a skeleton, and it's wearing a helmet.
Checkers will look at the bear, he'll look at the skeleton, and he'll look back at Shade. And he will think on it real hard and say, do you think possibly that skeleton is its last victim?
I think that is a reasonable assumption one could make.
Checkers, I gotta keep going. I have to. If all shit goes down, I'm gonna run away. With my 9 HP, I don't want to get mauled and die here. That's pathetic. But Checkers will he'll be at the door's entrance and he'll poke his head out and hold the hole. Is this a hole or a door, right? There's a door and then there's a hole, or is it just the staircase upwards?
So it's basically a cave entrance that is covered in ice with a man-sized hole in the center of it, so you can stick your head through it. You could crawl through it if you want to, or you could.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I would definitely say hello to see if I can stir the bear up. I'll say hello there. Who we want?
You say hello, and the bear get maybe the bear farts also and just kind of re-rolls over and re-snuggles the skeleton. The skeleton, you can hear the bones just jangle together a little bit.
Well,
let's not go into that room just yet. And he'll say, and don't tell Raph he was right.
all right. Have we checked out all of the entrances or exits, whatever we want to call them?
Just the bottom left one you have not checked out.
All right, I think we should check that one out.
Isn't that where
I'll
I
follow
just
Shade.
Okay.
Cool. Who's going?
I definitely am. So Shade and Checkers.
I
Cool.
believe I'm
will
already
follow.
in there.
What's that?
I believe I'm already in there.
No, you went the other way.
I said I went into the one that we haven't explored yet.
Oh, I thought you said you went to the downward one. Cool. Then that's fine. So you guys join Wrath in there. Wrath, you're in this like warm, like it feels like a cozy cottage, right? Like dark wood floor. There's been white plaster poured on the walls. There's a full-sized 4-poster bed, really nice, right, kind of in the center, pushed up against the wall. This whole room smells like it smells like marzipan, right? Like there's a fireplace in here that is lit currently. It is boiling some sort of liquid in a cauldron, large cauldron. The room is like there's dried herbs everywhere, and in various like clumps stacked. There's also a bunch of like a good supply of these hanging purple flowers from the ceiling.
I'm going to break the bed.
How would you like to do that? You just want to jump on it? Jump up and down on it?
I'm just going to kick one of the legs
Okay.
as hard as I could. I'm going to use my strong.
Okay, go ahead. Do it.
Just roll.
2d6. Oh yeah. So yeah, you kick it with 5, and the one of the posts totally fumbles, and that corner of the bed, the closest one to you, crank, hits the floor. And as you do that, the cat comes scurrying in, and in front of your eyes morphs into a woman with red hair.
I'm going to punch it.
You punch the woman?
Wow.
I'm surprised. I didn't know people could do this.
Oh, so you literally want to punch her?
No.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to punch her.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Cool. Give me a do you have fight?
Fighter. Yeah.
Yep. If you're a fighter, 2d6. 4, yeah. Yeah, you catch her, roll me some damage.
2d6 or 1d6?
You are you're first level, so 1d6 plus what kind of sword do you got? Long sword or short sword? What's that?
A long sword.
Yep, plus 1. So 1d6 plus 1. Yep, cool, 4 damage. And she screams out, like, she just takes the hit, and she says, I figured you were going to be the problematic one.
It was completely your fault. You scared me.
And she would look down at her bed and say, yeah. And at that point, you hear the ice break from outside, and a polar bear comes screaming, roaring.
Good job.
And that's where we'll end tonight.
Magic.
Ooh. Exciting. So wait, just double checking here. The witch is here.
A witch is here, yes. There's definitely a witch
A
that you
witch.
just hit for 4
Evil.
damage. You have no idea if she's evil. You guys don't recognize her, if that helps.
That's good.
Well, I mean, clearly she's evil because she's a witch.
Clearly she's good because she can turn into a cat.
Cats are evil.
I'm just gonna
don't trust
say
it.
this. I'm just gonna say this. I've never heard of a good cat.
Wow.
How dare
Yeah, how
No.
dare you, sir?
Those are fighting words, sir.
I own a cat, and trust me, I say the same. I have 2.
I have 2.
I would
My
say
partners
at
have
best,
2.
cats are chaotic neutral. At best.
Mine's literally glaring at me.
Yours is what?
Nose.
Fighters?
Mine's literally glaring at me. Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
nose.
Yep,
It knows what I said.
it's offended too.
Here's what you did.